Another story I'd like to tell you is one that my grandfather would always tell me when I was my son's age, 10 years old, roughly the same age my grandfather was when this story happened. My grandfather, Jerzy Ploszajski, was a Polish Catholic born in Russia in 1910. He always used to joke when people would ask, why were you born in Russia? He said, because my mother was there at the time. Very nice. His father was managing a Polish engineering firm in the Russian capital, and after the outbreak of the Russian Revolution, they escaped and moved to a tiny town to await the birth of my grandfather's brother. After the birth, they were on the move again to try and get home and escape the Russian Revolution. At the start of their journey, my grandfather's father contracted typhus and had to be taken to a hospital, and he insisted that the family went on without him. So there's my grandfather, aged 8, his mother, his 10-year-old sister, and his baby brother, just a few months old, traveling by train. And these trains were terrible, full of diseases, people literally dying on the trains. An awful time. And they stopped at a station it was a junction at the Trans-Siberian Highway, Trans-Siberian Railway. And they stop and they need hot water so that my grandfather's mother can wash his baby brother. He leaps off the train, and the trick was to get there, get the hot water, and get back before the train left. My grandfather gets there, there's a long line, and he fills the kettle, and he's running back, and he hears the clattering sound of engines and the whooshing, and the train is leaving the station. He looks around for his mother, no sign of her anywhere. He realizes he's alone. He runs around hopelessly, but realizes it's to no avail, and he sits down on the pavement by some railings, warming his hands on the still tepid kettle and cooling his hot, tear-stained face against the cold iron of the railings, and sobbed himself to sleep. He woke up to find himself being carried by a man, a soldier, who took him under his wing, and so began a trek that lasted a year and covered over 2,000 miles, where my 8-year-old grandfather was alone. He was looked after by different people. Sometimes people would look after him, and then he would wake up and they would have passed of some terrible disease. All those months and months and months traveling through forests, tundras, and then one day my grandfather is by the River Lena. He is now 9 years old. He is on his own at this point, scrambling, doing whatever he can. And he meets a man who tells him about a place that has been set up in a town called Chita, where families are being reunited. It's set up by a couple who set it up so that children and indeed anyone could be reunited. This is many miles away. So again, my grandfather begins a mission to get there and hopefully one day be reunited with his family. 2 months he spends traveling again through forests, through all manner of inhumanities that he's witnessing through the terrible state of the world at that point. And he arrives finally in this town 2 days before Christmas. He finds this building, a disused building that is being used as a safe haven to reunite people. He explains that he lost his parents, and he's told to sit in a room while they go and get the owners of this haven. And the door eventually opens, and in walk the owners of this place, his parents. They had set up this place, trying to struggle with the grief of losing their son, him, and there they were, reunited 2 days, less than 48 hours before Christmas 1919, exactly 101 years ago. So this Christmas, as we complain about being in lockdown this year and being trapped at home, let's think about the fact that this year has brought out much kindness, just as much kindness was given to my grandfather during this terrible time. But more importantly, as we complain about being trapped at home, think about Stickman and my grandfather, both of whom just wanted to get home. Embrace where you live, ladies and gentlemen, and Merry Christmas, and I'll see you on the other side.